You're watching Capitol View, Sunday morning talk focused on the political scene in Arkansas.
Welcome back to the program. Joining me now, John Brummett, columnist with the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. Good to see you, sir.
Good to be here.
Thanks for being in studio. You know, usually we chat. It's like Zoom-ish, sort of.
Yeah, we do. I don't know what you call it, a video cast, a podish cast or something.
I'll go for that. So
and it's
every week.
It's online every week, and literally dozens of people are enjoying that program.
I think it's scores of people is what I think. So perhaps hundreds even.
But they tend to be responsive.
They do.
So it's good to be here. I guess I'm on legacy media with you today.
How about that?
Yeah, and I'm a legacy media guy.
And you are a legacy media guy.
So
you're still in a newspaper. So.
This is great. All right.
All right, let's start at the national level. We'll work our way down to the state level.
Okay.
We've got President-elect Trump has been announcing for the better part of 2 weeks his potential cabinet picks. Is he bent on revenge? Is he bent on unraveling the system? Is he naming some of these people out of spite? Is he naming some out of competence? Where do you put this on the spectrum of some of the nominees that you've seen?
1, 2, and 3, yes, 4, no.
Okay.
Do you remember the order in which you, competence, I don't think is the main factor. I have a theory of Trump, and I think if you just can begin to comprehend the vastness of his ego and his grievance nature, you can explain basically everything he does. I think, and then his supporters, his base, they're all about owning the liberals, owning the libs. And so he wants to be of service to them, but owning the libs serves his personal purpose of getting back at them for what he believes were injustices done to him by the Democrats in court. So this serves those purposes. It serves the grievance nature of his base. It serves his personal ego and grievance. And I think they get a kick out of it. I think when they put out Matt Gaetz or one of the other nominees, I think they're chortling. This is going to send them over the edge,
right.
Man. I also believe it's tactical to some extent. I think they pretty well had an idea. A couple of these senators are going to rise up on Gaetz, but that's all right because we got this former Attorney General woman from
Pam
Florida,
Bondi, right.
and she's be just as subservient to our interests rather than to justice's as he would have been. And she'll be more easily confirmed. Maybe we can get our Pentagon controversial pick chosen. And I think that's what it's all about. I think the whole policy tenor of the early Trump presidency will be that everything he's warned us or told us he's going to do, I think in some fashion he's going to follow through. But some of the things, he's got 2 or 3 that are going to be so out there that he knows and his people know not going to happen.
Right.
But it makes it more, maybe we can do 25% tariffs, but we can't do
it. Makes it more palatable to still go far, but not as far. Everything
is relative.
Yeah.
When I was doing a little guest piece for a national paper on Mike Huckabee as the ambassador to Israel, and I said suddenly, and I called him and I said, the tenor of this thing is changing because they just announced Matt Gaetz, and Mike Huckabee as the ambassador to Israel seems perfectly plausible and appropriate to me. Everything being relative, and I think that's what they're doing.
Yeah. Interesting. So I guess kind of take this, this is a conversation you and I have off and on a periodic basis about how, in Arkansas, it's 81-19 in terms of Republicans to Democrats. In the House of Representatives, I think it's 29-6 in the state Senate. At the national level, though, we're 51-49. We're, barely a majority for anyone. I think it's
whichever way and whatever time, yeah.
Yet at the national level, whoever's in power seems to still act as if they have 81-19 in their numbers.
Yes.
Why do we not have more bipartisanship, or why do we not have more working across the aisle when it's that close? We used to have, when Mark Pryor was a senator, for instance, the Gang of 8. And what's changed in our national politics that we can't compromise or work across party aisle?
I feel like a broken record, but maybe we haven't talked about this on this particular program in this venue, but it's just, we have become an ideologically polarized, society. Media and it has been polarized. People get their facts where they choose. Facts are now a buffet item, and then we had Manchin and Sinema in the Senate working on a moderate. They did the bipartisan compromise, and helping and stopping the Democrats from ending the filibuster. Where are Manchin and Sinema now?
On the sidelines.
They're on the sidelines.
Yep.
They were purged for unelectability because it all starts with the money and the passion of the base, and the base to the right is MAGA, and the base to the left is, I think, impractically, ridiculously progressive. Okay. So that's what you've got, and they dominate. And I've said it many times. When Biden won, I wrote a column. I'm quite sure he must not have seen it, but I said, you got elected because you weren't Trump, and this country was fatigued with Trump. Now get in there and do as little as you can. Now, Ukraine comes up or something like that, you've got to lead. I'm not saying that, but don't push an ideological agenda. What did he do? He let the progressive wing of the House of Representatives push him to more spending and student loan forgiveness and all those things. How'd that turn out? So,
well, for Arkansas, we got some money
we
for
got a lot
infrastructure.
Of money. Yeah,
so.
Yeah. But the infrastructure was the bipartisan element of it,
Yep.
that the two parties. So bipartisanship is dormant, if not dead. Let's say dormant. Even as it lived effectively 3-4 years ago, yep. And everything is about vengeance on one side. And when the Democrats had Biden in the Congress, they said, how are we going to get this chance? Let's come with our Christmas tree and decorate that thing. and it's failed politics.
Yes.
And we had no labels, trying to come with maybe a Manchin, Larry Hogan ticket, maybe do that, which seemed perfectly logical in that Trump and Biden were so unpopular. But
third parties are never going to get
they're not going to make it because they tend to hurt one side more than the other, and they get forced out by the fact that it's an impractical thing. Perot was the closest thing, but that was kind of a personal cult almost. It might succeed that way. So that's where we are, and I don't know how we get out of it, but 53-47 in the Senate, my goodness. Wow.
That's almost a landslide, isn't it?
Yeah. So they're going to push everything and get a lot of it because of the theory of relativity, everything being relative.
Well, they have the executive in both branches
right.
of the legislature, so the Republicans
and they
will
have the court basically to hold up anything. Yeah.
We got about 2 minutes left.
Okay.
Regular session coming up in January. I'll just vaguely ask you, what are you watching for? What should our expectations be for this upcoming January legislative session?
It looks like more of the same, which is this same cycle of a utopian cycle, which was we can draw down our income tax, we can budget very tightly, we can count on a pretty good percolating economy to cover the drawdown, we can have surpluses, and then we can tightly budget again, and we just keep going at this cycle. And as long as no one's on the front page saying these tight budgets are hurting people here with demonstrably, then there's no opposition. We go along that way. We look for there ought to be some discussion of Governor Sanders holding the public school fund sort of at status quo level, while putting half of her minimal funding increase into her LEARNS program, which so far has been going mostly to people who either are in homeschools or already had their kids in private or parochial schools. I think that is a real political issue and a real budget issue. And we're going to have culture wars. But as I'm writing for tomorrow maybe, we're used to those. We're going to take fluoride out of our water, we're going to have raw milk, or we're going to do away with any sort of preference according to race or gender in our hiring? Are we going to have any libraries that have all the books or not? We have those all the time. They may be a little more.
You're desensitized to it, is what
I'm
it sounds
numbed
like.
to it. I'm numb to it.
It's been going on for over a decade.
Yeah.
So.
But this, I hear some people saying, "Oh my God, this is going to be the worst." No, it's not. It's going to be like the last several, and that's where we are.
Well, we don't have guns on college campuses back yet, but maybe that will come in this
the
session
the
too.
litany I just went through, is real. But there are 2 or 3 things somebody's got in mind out there that are going to blow all those off the front page. And we never know what they are,
yes.
but they're coming.
All right, he's John Brummett. He's columnist with the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. You can catch him online at arkansasonline.com and still in the paper. Thank you for being here.
Still in the paper.
Yeah.
That should be on my tombstone, still in the paper.
We're back with more after the break.